one.
Bek Lover.
Oh, it's another night here at the Comeback Team Studios, and this is your host, Bek Lover, and you're watching the Interesting Times podcast right here on the Bek Lover podcast, where I cover all the news, all the stories, anything I think's important or interesting, and I think you should know about. And I love your feedback, so make sure you drop a comment, click the smash that subscribe button, drop a heart. You're my voice to the world. It's not me, it's you that propel me against all odds. Tonight, we're going to talk about Kanye West and his disgusting behavior with his girl for a man of God. We're going to talk about airplanes falling from the sky. We're going to talk about Elon Musk. We're going to talk about this dangerous relationship between companies like Apple, X, Facebook, all of them together now, miraculously. All of a sudden, enemies, and all of a sudden they're together, and what that means for the future, possibly. How dangerous this alliance that's forming could truly be when all of these companies cooperate. And a lot of other interesting news and headlines. So thank you for propelling us to the top 2% of all podcasts in the world, top 5%. I apologize for not being on the air over the last few days. It's been extremely busy. I'll be shooting out to film a ton of podcasts with the real Brad Lee. I'm going to be seeing Matt Cox and a lot of other big podcasters, maybe even Tommy G, if you ever heard of him on YouTube. And I might be a regular thing I start doing with Brad Lee, and that's up to you. So I want you all to go and follow the real Brad Lee. We're going to have a panel. It's going to be kind of like the PBD podcast, a lot of different guests and stories and talking about everything that's going on. I know you love me, but I like to have conversations with people. So over the last few days, I spent time with Shaquille O'Neal's artist. He's signed to Shaq Fu Records. His name's Mo Pacino. We dropped a podcast over the weekend. I'm probably going to be airing that tomorrow. That's just an interview about his life and things that are going on, and very interesting guy. They were here over the weekend. They had 20,000 people going crazy at the Brooklyn Mirage. And this guy's life changed the day he became a partner, associated with Shaquille O'Neal. Respect to Mo Pacino and his cousin for coming out. They shouted me out on Hot 97. I can't wait to hear that. And I'm going to get to meet Shaq, man. I could have met him Saturday, but I had some previous engagements. I was supposed to be there, go on stage and meet Shaq. I was excited. I've never met Shaq. As a kid, I was a center. I played basketball, and I would scream, Shaq, like when I would grab a rebound or swat someone's. And I wasn't that great at basketball, okay? Clearly, that's why I'm here now and not in the NBA. But, yeah, man, a lot of interesting things going on. So make sure you check out. I'm going to be dropping this interview with me and Mo Pacino is his name. So stay tuned. Should be dropping tomorrow. Now, there's a lot to catch up on since my last episode, and I apologize again for taking so long. Okay? Russell Brand is someone that when he first came onto the world stage, I looked at him like he was a buffoon. I had no respect for him. I thought he was a clown. I thought he was very promiscuous publicly. He was in Hollywood, MTV. He was in a lot of movies. And he's changed his tune dramatically over the last few years, and he's dealt with some public attacks, and he's accused of some crimes and whatnot. And I do believe he was targeted because of his changing of his character and becoming more Christian-like and recently being baptized and, trying to get more in tune with the spiritual. I think a lot of people have woken up over the last 5 years and especially over the last 2 years. And this is what's known as the Great Awakening, right? A time period where humanity that's been asleep is starting to get more in tune with their spiritual nature and asking, why is the world the way it is? Why are human beings doing these things to each other? Who's in charge, really? And how can we stop these crimes against the world, humanity, and people across the globe? Because whether you're listening to me in Pakistan, which I found out I'm one of the top podcasts in Pakistan, hello, Karachi, or Australia, or Europe, or Albania, which not a lot of Albanians listen to me in Albania. It's like one of the lowest listening. I guess my people don't like me. I don't know. The UK, whatever it is, we live in a global society. We all have a responsibility, and people that are public have even more responsibility because of the impact we can have on people's minds, their children, right? So Russell Brand, when he first came out, I thought, but he was a typical Hollywood dude. And he's been doing a lot of great work. I enjoy his podcast. He talks about very serious things, very similar things that I speak about. I have reached out to him to try to get on his show. Maybe some of you can tag him. But he's leaving the UK. So he's coming to the US. Russell Brand moves to US claiming British authorities are attacking him amid a BBC misconduct review. The comedian is now a staunch Donald Trump supporter and has settled in Florida. Russell Brand is said to have moved to the U.S. after claiming he is being attacked by British prosecutors. The comedian has accused of being, physical crimes against women between 2006 and 2013, and he was at the height of his fame but has not been charged. He has also been interviewed by police 3 times under caution. Brand has denied all allegations, insisting his relationships were consensual. Now the 49-year-old has uprooted his wife, Laura Gallagher, 37, and their 3 children from their Oxford home to a new residence in Florida. And I'm trying to get to Florida too. God willing, by the end of this year, I will be a resident of Florida. I love New York. I don't love New York. Does that make sense? I love New York, but I don't love New York no more. With the rules and the games and the hypocrisy and the corruption and the congestion toll, for me, was like the last straw that broke the camel's back. So, yeah. He's leaving. A lot of people, man, going to Florida or Miami. Diddy taken to the hospital from federal prison in the middle of the night. Disgraced rapper Sean Diddy Combs being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn for numerous abuse crimes was moved to hospital this week. This is reported all over the news, but I'm using the Hindustan Times. Sean Diddy Combs was reportedly taken to a hospital on Thursday night. Insiders have since told the New York Post and Daily Mail that the 54-year-old rapper was moved to a Brooklyn hospital around 10 p.m. In the middle of the night, he was temporarily relieved from the notorious Metropolitan Detention Center to receive an MRI. Why was Diddy taken to the hospital? It was initially speculated that Bad Boy for Life was taken to the hospital due to his involvement in a prison brawl. Sources even wondered if some of the other emergency had fueled the medical shift. However, another insider eventually clarified that Diddy was moved out of the federal lockup because his knee was bothering him. Combs' history of knee issues has long been documented following his participation in the New York Marathon. The Revolt founder is believed to have been taken back to his prison cell the same night after the MRI's conclusion. Maybe his knees hurts because he was always on his knees, probably. Maybe he was not only the one giving it, maybe he was taking it on his knees. I don't think it was just running from the marathon. I think he was on his knees a lot, and he's going to need to be on his knees a lot more, begging God to forgive him for probably a lot of the crimes that he did commit while he thought he was invincible and arrogant and abusing his wealth and his excesses that eventually caught up to the diddler. Someone who's no stranger to controversy. But the reason I feel like I need to comment about this is because he claims to be a man of God. He claims to be spiritual. He claims to be bringing people to Jesus and Christianity. And if I was a Christian, I would be ashamed to even associate myself with the type of Christianity that Kanye West believes in. Bianca Censori makes shocking appearance at Grammys 2025 on first red carpet with Kanye West. Bianca Censori made her jaw-dropping debut at the 2025 Grammys alongside husband Kanye West. All eyes were on the couple for obvious reasons as they made a surprise appearance at the awards. While West wore his typical all-black with a diamond chain, Censori left very little to the imagination. No, she left nothing to the imagination. She walked in with this long coat, and then she took it off, and she was literally butt naked in front of the whole world. Your wife, bro. Your wife. Now, if you weren't a spiritual man, honestly, I wouldn't be reporting it. I might say this is what these lowlifes do now, but the fact that you claim to be a Christian and a man of God and you're spiritual and you could walk in public with millions of cameras and show what only God created your eyes to see, your wife, there are no morals. You should be ashamed to represent Christianity. As a Christian, you should be ashamed that he even says he's a Christian. There has to be some morality There has to be some pride in yourself as a man that you're the only one that gets to see what you're giving away for free to the world. In my opinion, you're a deceiver. In my opinion, you're corrupting the youth. You corrupted them with your music before you became spiritual. And now the fact that you're saying you're spiritual and believe in God and doing this type of stuff, you're more dangerous than you weren't spiritual. It's disgusting, bro. You know? But who knows? And he does have mental health. I mean, listen to me. I don't care if she's wearing a sheer, thing. It's, bro, I would never, ever, if my wife ever wanted to go outside like this, she'd be hanging from a tree or I would be in jail. Period. It's wrong, bro. Period. But it also makes me think of one of the prophecies of the end of the world, if I could find it here. In the Muslim tradition, in the Hadith, which are authentic sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he predicted 1,400 years ago when a woman would not even go out in a miniskirt or a bikini, let alone the way Kanye West's wife went out in public in front of the whole world. He gave a prophecy of the end of time. This is in the Book of Clothes and Adornment from Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2128. And I'm reading this because it's as clear as the day. There are two types of denizens of hell, whom I did not see, the Prophet Muhammad said, peace be upon him. People having flogs like the tails of the ox with them, and they would be beating people, and the women who would be dressed but appear to be naked, who would be inclined to evil and make their husbands incline towards it. Their heads will be like the humps of the bulked Bactrian camel, inclined to one side. They will not enter paradise, and they would not smell its odor, whereas its odor would be smelt from such and such distance. So one of the parts of this prophecy is that there will come a time where women are clothed but naked. When women are clothed but naked, and forget her, I've been seeing it more and more on the streets of New York City. You have women, you can see their nipples, you can see these sheer clothes they have, and this is happening because of what's going on online, and women, and the degeneracy is only increasing to the point where you will see fornication out in the public. I promise you there's a day coming where you will walk down the street and people will be doing it in the street like it's normal. That is how sick society has become. And when you have people like this who claim that they follow God and believe in God and can go outside with their wife like this, my God, how far from morality we are. But it is fascinating as a Muslim to see the prophecy of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, come true, bro. Like, I thought it could never go to this level, right? Like, when I saw the prophecy, I read this prophecy 20 years ago. And I figured, based on modest dress, based on the Virgin Mary, the way women dressed up into the Victorian age, go to Google and look at the Victorian age. Women, how they dressed around the world. They were covered to here, bro. When I Dream a Genie showed her belly button, there was protest in America. It was a TV show where a woman dressed up like a genie for the part she was playing, and she showed her belly button, and there was a massive uproar. So I'm figuring, maybe that's what he meant, like they're going to be dressed so, bikini. What's the difference between a bikini and your underwear? I always ask women that question. Would you go outside in your underwear? No, oh my God. But you'll go to the beach. It's the same fucking people and you're in a bikini. So what's the difference between a bikini and your underwear? Seriously. Oh, because it's at the beach. So because we change location, it's okay. It's not okay for men to see you if you're down the street, walking, going to the grocery store, to see you like that. But it's okay at the beach, though. Do you think it's okay to God? Because if you're doing it for moral reasons, then what's your justifications? I've always asked women this, and they can't answer. So you won't dress like that at the store. Why? Oh, so because you're changing location? Again, my values, I'm kind of conservative when it comes to marriage, women, family. I'm not a big fan of going with my girl to the beach. Does it mean that she doesn't wear a bathing suit? She does, but she's covered. So for me, it's like I'm not comfortable with it. I'm going to be honest with you. Because I know how men think. And people say, oh, that's how you think. No, I know how men think. I know how they talk. I know when they walk by in the bikini what they're saying, what I would do to her and how I would do her. Like, that's the truth. We can sit here and deny it all day. That is how men's minds are wired. It doesn't give them the right to hurt women. It doesn't give them the right to catcall. It doesn't give them the right to say something. But to think that you don't invite that type of look or response, that's exactly why you're doing it. Let's be real. You ain't doing it for your man. Your man doesn't want the attention. Your man doesn't want other man looking at his girl, because even if you're not out to like have a problem, the devil comes, man. So you're out, your girl's dressed all sexy, someone says something to her. Now you got to defend her, or someone does something inappropriate. And why did it all start? Because the way they were dressed, bro. The commingling of the sexes. I can't tell you how many people I know have lost their lives because they've been in a social environment and someone disrespected their woman and they felt obligated to respond and they ended up dead. I know of a guy who got hit in the back of the head with a pool stick. He didn't even know. He was talking to a girl at the bar. The girl came up to him. He didn't know that the girl just got in a fight with her boyfriend, and to make him jealous, started talking to this guy that I knew, okay? He was my babysitter's son when I was a child. Started talking to him, and this guy got so jealous, came right behind him, smashed him in the back of the head with a pool stick, and he died. He died because another woman used him as a weapon to make her current boyfriend jealous. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's going on. So if you think this is normal, if you think this is right, drop a comment. If you think I'm too old-fashioned, drop a comment. We've gone too far off the reservation. But the reason I'm covering the story is because it ties into the prophecy that I believe has come true. This is proof of it, and it's only going to get worse. And I tie it to this episode because the man claims to be a man of God. He claims to be spiritual and Christian and blah, blah, blah. And I'm ashamed, and I'm not even a Christian. That's all. And no disrespect to my Christians. I know you're offended too. So drop a comment if I'm right, because these are the values that we share. This is why we're on the same side. Whether or not we agree on doctrine is a whole nother story. Most sects don't agree. Sunni and Shia don't agree. Catholic and Protestant and so on and so forth. But overall, there's supposed to be some universal truths in these faiths. Modesty, covering your beauty, not being arrogant, not being jealous, not stealing, not taking someone's life. Like, these are like universal truths in all faiths. So drop a comment, let me know. You could go see this video. It's literally X-rated. If I hit this play button right here, you will see she's naked, bro. She's literally naked. You can see her entire body, every nook and cranny. Something you should be proud of as a man that is yours for you, not for the world to see. You're with her. That's your reward for being her. You're giving everyone the benefit. There are people right now, Kanye West, that are watching these videos of your wife and pleasuring themselves. Think about that. Millions and millions of people are freeze-framing videos and pictures that you have allowed of your spouse pleasuring themselves to it. That type of energy is very dangerous, and God will destroy you with that. It's why so many people in the adult film industry have very untimely endings of their lives. It does not end well for them. God help you, Kanye West. Another person I think needs a little help is my man Justin Bieber. Like, what's up with this outfit, bro? What is up with this outfit? He can't even look at where the belt is. This is his buttocks area, his hips. His hips are up here. Okay? He's got it around his thighs, bro. Yo, dogs, it was like, what are you doing, Justin Bieber, bro? Like, you look like a clown, bro. And I don't say it to be mean to you, but man, you're 30-something years old. No, I don't know how old he is, but come on, man. Look at this. That's him in New York City earlier, I think, today. I mean, what do you think, Mac? Like, I don't know. All right, on to the real news now. On to the real news. This wasting away disease with the deer has been hovering in the background for almost a year and a half, 2 years now. This is reported by WTAJ, Pennsylvania Outdoors, that chronic wasting disease detected a new area within Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Gaming Commission, not gaming, that's for casino, the Game Commission has announced that 2 deer have tested positive for chronic wasting disease. The adult male deers who tested positive were in Luzerne County and are 40 miles from the nearest wild CW detection. The commission said that this discovery will result in changes to their disease management area. CWD is an always fatal neurological disease caused by a misfolded protein called a prion. Both deer and elk are affected by the disease. It's classified as transmissible spongiform encephalopathy. Listen, I am a doctor, okay? I'm doing my best here. Also known as TSE, and is similar to scrapie in sheep, mad cow disease in cattle, and Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease in humans. So it's still out there. Now, originally it was on the western side of the country. Now it's on the eastern side of the country. Bird flu is now considered widespread in Massachusetts as outbreaks spread, officials warn. Bird flu is now believed to be widespread in Massachusetts and is likely present even in places where there has not been confirmed positive, state environmental and health officials said Wednesday. This is reported by USA Today. The Division of Fisheries and Wildlife, Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources, and Massachusetts Department of Public Health said Wednesday that the highly pathogenic avian influenza, more commonly known as bird flu, is suspected to be the cause of death in cases of both wild and domestic birds in several Massachusetts municipalities. State officials are working with partners to test suspected cases and collaborating with municipalities to safely dispose of dead birds. So this thing is still spreading. Eggs are becoming more and more scarce. And yeah, it's getting a little crazy. Right here, U.S. egg prices expected to climb further as farmers strained by bird flu outbreak. About 14.7 million egg-laying hens have been affected as wholesale price of eggs climb as much as 40 cents a week. We're paying $10. Now remember, a lot of stuff's made with eggs, man. Bread, pasta, so on and so forth. Dunkin' Donuts and cookies and whatever. So that's a key component of a lot of food that we eat that is going to make everything else more expensive. Though the avian flu has been in the U.S. since 2022, the largest outbreak started in October and is still affecting millions of hens. Based on the amount of birds that we have lost in the last few months and the hen population, there just isn't enough production to support the amount of demand that we have. Okay? We have a shortage of chickens, man. Okay, we're living in interesting times. Interesting times indeed. Everyone thought that, hey, Trump's going to win and the world's going to be saved right away. No, it's not. No, it's not. We live in a time of deception, my friends. Now, am I blaming Trump for this? No. Let me clarify. Now, I don't know why they have to put these animals down. Please, someone drop in the comments. When a human being gets the flu, they stay sick for a week. You wish you were dead. And then you get better. Why do they have to kill the birds? Why? Millions of them. I mean, we're at the point now, maybe you should just quarantine them, let them get better. It's what herd immunity means. I mean, listen, I'm no doctor. But to me, it just doesn't make sense. If someone gets the flu, do we take them to the backyard and just put a bullet in their head? I mean, I don't know. Okay, so some of them are going to die. Okay. What, you think that birds didn't get flu and colds and sickness throughout history and that God didn't design them to overcome? I don't get it. Can someone clarify, man? So to me, it doesn't make sense, the amount of birds that they're killing. It really doesn't. But I could be wrong. For those of you that are waiting for another lockdown, hoping for it to come, there's people still wearing a mask out there. Key social skills in young children declined after the pandemic, which we all know by now was planned. Children's cognitive skills after the pandemic. It was remarkable to see the drop in kids' performance. The unexpected decline prompted the team to dig deeper, uncovering a significant gap in key cognitive skill among children ages 3.5 to 5.5. Okay, you really hurt your children by putting them in isolation. I fought for my kids, man. I didn't leave them, isolated and all that junk. But it's crazy, like the damage that we're still feeling today for the sheep who obeyed the wolves. Decline in social skills. The study included 94 children in the initial group, each given 3 false belief tasks. Before the pandemic, 80% of 5-year-olds passed the test. After the lockdowns, the success rate dropped to 63%. For children from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, the result was even more concerning. This hurt the hood more than anywhere. 51% passed. To ensure accurate comparisons, the researchers also evaluated the children's language skills and measured their family's socioeconomic status. So, a lot of damage was done to our youth by obeying those liars. We demand justice for those that we lost. The CIA admitted, I already covered this in my last episode, right? It was a lab leak. Now, ask yourself one question. Everything you thought we were crazy about, everything you said you guys were wrong about, why can't you just take our words when I tell you it was not released by accident, man? United Airlines, let's get into the planes now. Okay, and I got to fly in 2 days, and I'm not excited about it because we're living in such a chaotic time. We really are. United Airlines plane catches fire at Houston's Bush Airport. Flight from Houston to New York had to be evacuated after an engine issue forced it to abort takeoff. Video acquired by Fox 26 Houston from someone on the plane shows the wing of the United Airlines plane on fire. Okay? Boeing should be put out of business, man. I don't even know if it was a Boeing. But.
Come on, I'll get along. Please remain seated until further instructions by the captain. Oh my God. Please get us on. So fire, this is jet.
Huh. Let me tell you something. They're lucky that this wasn't in the air. And it was an Airbus. I apologize. It was not a Boeing. It was an Airbus. My apologies. You see? You're not safe anywhere anymore. Now, am I flying to Vegas? Yeah, I'm flying to Vegas. But I believe when God writes your time, it's your time, man. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be laying in your bed. You could be in a war being fired at. And if it's not your time, it's not your time, man. Senior U.S. aid security officials put on leave after attempting to refuse Musk's Doge access to agency systems. This is reported by CNN. Top security officials at the U.S. Agency for International Development were put on administrative leave Saturday night after attempting to refuse officials from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency access systems at the agency. Even after Doge personnel threatened to call law enforcement, multiple sources familiar told CNN. Man, I can't even read tonight, man. I'm tired. The Doge personnel wanted to gain access to USAID security systems and personnel files. 2 of these sources also said that Doge personnel wanted access to classified information, which only those with security clearances and a specific need to know are able to access. The incident, which has not been previously reported, is the latest showdown as Trump-affiliated Doge seeks to exert increasing authority over the federal government as it aims to slash spending. So, Elon Musk, man, he's in the middle of it all these days. Elon Musk's Doge Commission gains access to sensitive treasury payment systems. Okay? Donald Trump's billionaire advisor and Tesla CEO Elon Musk have gained access to sensitive treasury data, including Social Security and Medicare customer payment systems. The move by Doge, a Trump administration task force assigned to find ways to fire federal workers, cut programs, and slash federal regulations, means it could have wide leeway to access important taxpayer data. They're probably trying to finish building the crypto world Now they're all together. Trump, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Musk. For those of you that have vision, this is very dangerous. AI, robotics. They build the prison around you while you're cheering it on. And then by the time you realize you're like that frog in boiling water, is my humble opinion. What do you think? Am I being paranoid? Or could we live in a Hunger Games society where there's cameras everywhere, drones, robots, they get rid of everyone, drones, you make one wrong move, social credit score. What do you think? Am I paranoid? Or will this be the future? I think it will be, unless we push back. I don't trust any of them, and I've always said that. And understand, they have to prove me differently. Do I like some of the things they're doing? Yes, I do. But do I trust them? No. Like Tony Montana said, who do I trust? Me. NPR reports Elon Musk sues Lego, Nestle, and more brands, accusing them of advertising boycott. You should sue them for all the chemicals they've been putting in our food and that they own all the damn water. Nestle owns like all the water. It's scary, like Pellegrino, Aquapana, like Poland Spring, Ozarka, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they own like all the water, this Switzerland-based company. It's crazy. Soldier identified in D.C. plane crash. Data shows helicopter may have been too high. Now, there's a lot of rumors coming out about this pilot that was flying the Apache, and there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not an expert on what's being said on the back channels, but there's a lot of theories about her, and she was with Biden in the White House and very pro-DEI, right? The diversity and inclusion and rainbow flags. And there's a lot to this story. I don't think it makes sense. What was an Apache doing in a civilian airport? Even a rookie pilot would know not to be in that area. It just doesn't make sense. And then we've all seen the scenes of what happened in Philadelphia. So, like, what the hell is going on? And then there's this back and forth online. It's all because of Trump. Yeah, because Trump's been in office for a few weeks and it's all his fault. Well, he got rid of the FAA guy, and I don't know, man. But something weird is going on. My predictions for 2025 to 2026, and only God knows the future. And only God deserves all praise and recognition. And only God has all knowledge. My guess, educated guess, we will see a massive crash in crypto at first, and the stock exchange, and housing. It will all come tumbling down on Trump's watch. My belief. By the powers that be, to create turmoil. Also ask yourself, for those of you who understand anything about economics, 2008 was the last time we had like a real correction, crash, recession, whatever you want to call it. They call it the Great Recession. The stock market was around 7,000 points. Right now we're in the 40,000 point range since 2008. To not think we're due, my friends. Everything is inflated. Everything, in my opinion, is air, printing money, buying equities with that money. Real estate is absurd at this point in time. Like, it's just crazy. And we've had no correction. They keep printing and printing. And my God, when this thing corrects itself, when reality comes, my God. I think they're doing it on purpose to take out fiat currency and push us into a crypto system. I really believe it was done partially for that purpose, to destroy physical currency, in my opinion. New video gives closest look yet at the site of plane crash in Northeast Philly. So here we go. Let's see. So this is on 6abc.com. And you can see the crater. The National Transportation Safety Board provided this video. I mean, look at the impact of this thing, man. Just fell right from the sky. I mean, I don't even know how many people are dead. I don't know know, does it say it here in the report? Jet carrying a child and her mother along with 4 other people was in the air for less than a minute. The Lear Jet 55, operated by Jet Rescue Air Ambulance, took off at 6:06. The entire flight lasted less than a minute. All 6 people aboard the jet died in the crash. That's sad. Another person on the ground was killed, and the city said Sunday that the number of people who were injured climbed to 22. It could have been a lot worse. I mean, when we saw the explosion that day, like from the videos that initially came out, it could have been a lot worse. And my heart goes out to everyone that died in D.C. and hearing their stories and the ice skaters. And it's just a reminder that you don't know when your time will come. And I don't care even if you're flying. There's people that, imagine the people on the ground. Forget the people in the plane. In the plane, we always think, oh, if something goes wrong, I'm dead. I've had that thought a million times. Imagine being the person on the ground, walking, hey, I'm going to go to the store and get some chips and Doritos, and I'm going to pick up a bottle of Coca-Cola, and boom, a private jet comes down and kills you, bro. Like, you don't know when your last day is going to be. That's why you got to be good with your creator. You got to be good with your family. You got to be on terms, man, because you don't know how much time you have left. You just do not know. And it's hard for us to picture our deaths. Like, if you're feeling healthy, you feel it more. When you're healthy, you feel like you're going to live forever. You ever notice when you get sick or really sick, and I've been really sick a few times in my life, and you're like, man, I could just die. Like, this life is nothing, man. It's a flash in the pan, man. It's a joke. If you're enjoying the show, give me a thumbs up. Give me some fire. If you want to support Al. Now, we did do a live stream for Al's birthday, but for those of you that watched it, we had some technical difficulties. It was the first day we were using our new studio. And, yeah, some of you sent some money and gifts to Al, so I want to thank you for that. If you still want to contribute to Al, the pal, our producer, you want to send some super chats, we'll make sure he gets them. FBI agents are stunned by the scale of the expected Trump purge. This is reported by The Atlantic. Seasoned members of the nation's top law enforcement agency are bracing for a mass expulsion. I got to be honest, I'm happy, man. I hope they get rid of 80 or 90% of it. I hope they get rid of them. I hope they completely get rid of the CIA, the IRS first. I'm praying to God he gets rid of the IRS and income tax. But just because he might doesn't mean that we're not in trouble. Because in a crypto system, it's just a flick of a switch. Like, you need to understand how blockchain works, folks. I don't care. Oh, it's decentralized. Yeah. The universal ledger. Universal blockchain. Block you and chain you technology, in my opinion. So, yeah. Jeffrey Epstein files. Trump election could expose the names on the black book list. Oh, just release it, bro. This is why they all attacked him. I'm telling you, this is why. And he should. He really, really should. Now, let's see what the clip is. Can we hear the clip?
Senator Blackburn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Patel, there is absolutely no doubt that you have the experience and the expertise to lead the FBI, and we welcome you here today. We are pleased that you are here. I've been listening to my colleagues across the dais and listening to their questions, and it has led me to one thing. Why are the Democrats so afraid of you?
I don't know, Senator. You'd have to ask them.
Well, I tell you what I think, and listening to their questions and your responses, which we appreciate, they know that you're going to go in and you're going to clean up that political cabal that has been over there for years. You are going to reposition the FBI to its core mission. You stated that earlier in this hearing, and there will be no more political persecutions and no more 2 tiers of justice, and they have liked having 2 tiers of justice. They have enjoyed it, and it has helped them. They think in their political mission, they've enjoyed targeting Catholics. They've enjoyed targeting parents. But the American people
And Muslims.
have said
And
they
everybody.
want no more of that. And our colleagues know you're going to clean it up. I want to talk to you about the Epstein case. I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier I urged then Chairman Durbin to subpoena those records, and I ended up being blocked by Senator Durbin and Christopher Wray. They stonewalled on this, and I know that breaking up these trafficking rings is important to President Trump. So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Why don't you start with Cindy McCain as your first witness? We all knew what he was doing, but for whatever reason, we wouldn't go after him. Your husband was one of the most powerful senators. John McCain, he almost became president. And you all knew what he was doing, but for whatever reason, nobody would go after him. That's a quote from Cindy McCain. We need to know who was behind that operation. What country was behind that operation? Why was it a Honeywell? Why were the most powerful people going there? Who and what intelligence agencies? American, maybe a country in the Middle East, huh? We want the truth. We want the truth.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I want the truth. Because the truth is what will set everyone free.
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to countermand missing children and exploited children going forward.
Thank you for that. I do want to touch on the political persecution. I find it so interesting that they feel like you would carry out political persecution. Your parents are with us today. They fled Uganda and persecution from Idi Amin. And I think that with your background and given your family's history, that you would never move to political persecution. Is that accurate?
Yes, Senator, that is.
And we appreciate that you would remove any kind of two-tier.
Come on,
We
Internet.
appreciate that you would remove for years. Not all FBI agents. There are some good ones, and we certainly want to keep them, but the politics has got to be moved out of the agency. Now, they've tried to...
I mean, this is the greatest thing I've heard in a long time, okay, coming out of a politician's mouth in this country, man. The American people don't want justice that targets you because of what you believe or what you say, and because you stand against corruption, and because you're trying to hide a foreign asset that was bribing American politicians. I'm telling you, I am begging, I am praying to God publicly, please God, please God, please give us the truth. Let us know who was on that plane. I mean, we know who was on the plane. Let us know who was doing what in the islands. Expose which people are involved. Expose the agencies that were involved. Expose the other countries that were involved. Ghislaine Maxwell and the rest of these fucking lowlives, bro. Sorry for cursing, but there. I just want the truth.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Most people can't handle the truth. Most people would rather attack people like me and like you who watch this show, when all we want to do, forget ideology for a second. Forget LGBTQ and rainbow flags and all that stuff. Forget all that. Leave those issues on the side. This is something we can all agree on. Children being hurt by the most powerful people in the world. It benefits all of us to know who was involved, why they were involved, and what was the purpose of that island. Why can't we at least unite on the things that unite us? Why? Because they don't want the truth.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Dow futures dropped 600 points after Trump hits Canada, Mexico, and China with tariffs. Stock futures tumbled Sunday night to kick off new trading month. Okay, and here's what I think. We're gonna have a crash. They're gonna blame Trump. A lot of people predicted this even 6 months to a year. They're gonna let the whole thing implode on him. I think. I really do. This is my prediction. If you wanna take it to Wall Street, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not to give you advice. My gut of gut, my hearts of hearts, truly believe that they will drop this entire inflated balloon on his lap. And I think some very painful moments are coming for all of us. So do with that information as you will. I could be wrong, but just do with that as you will. The peace in the Middle East is very fragile at the moment, but I don't know if it's really peace because although Gaza has a ceasefire, the West Bank is erupting into chaos. Israel attacks Jenin buildings, Netanyahu to U.S. for Trump talks. Israeli forces have carried out several simultaneous explosions in the Jenin refugee camp. 46 sick and wounded Palestinians have been allowed to leave the Gaza Strip. Israel has launched air attack on central Gaza. Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu is heading to the U.S. to meet with President Trump. The talks are supposed to begin tomorrow. So let's see what he has to say. Israel army says 50 Palestinians killed in the occupied West Bank. So now they just switched from Gaza. Now it's full force West Bank, I guess. Some ceasefire. The Gaza war is paused, but Israel and Hamas keep up a fierce battle of optics over the hostages' release. Arbel Yehud is achingly close to freedom, but her face is a study of shadow and terror. She is dwarfed by dozens of masked Hamas fighters, and beyond them, a heavy mob of chanting men who surround her and fill the frame. Let me tell you, man, this is a very interesting time indeed. So tomorrow they're meeting, these two here. Rubio warns Panama of the U.S. retaliation if China's Canal influence remains. I'm hearing a lot of speculation that in Panama they're talking about that there might be an invasion and they're like preparing. I think we're going to take back the Panama Canal. I think it's coming. And I can't say, I don't know. As an American, I'm like, yeah, man, let's take that shit back. We built it. But technically, when you study the history of Panama, it's very interesting. There's the Panamanian rebels. They were armed by America. So their whole country owes its existence to America. It's a fact. Let me just see if I'm right here. Let me see. I haven't studied Panama's history in a long time. Let's see if I'm wrong here. Panama history. Let's see how Panama formed. Okay? Panama, before the arrival of Spanish colonists, they broke away from Spain in 1821 and joined the Republic of Gran Colombia, Union of Nueva Granada. Okay? So, if I'm not mistaken, it was the U.S. that recognized Panama on November 6, 1903, after Panama declared its independence from Colombia. And I'm pretty sure we armed them and so what and so forth. So, don't know if you guys know the history, but yeah. So, UN, and this is like, for me, like, I get upset because as someone that's lost family in war and know what it's like to have your family in harm's way and refugees and all of that, like, not enough people are talking about Congo, man. Like, people need to talk about Congo. People need to care about other places besides the Middle East and Europe. And I'm not saying we shouldn't care about those places, but it's like not one human suffering is greater than the other. We should be working as a collective. You want to talk about a hive mentality? We need to care about each other, man. You want to talk about globalism? It doesn't mean that we should all be entangled economically. It means that we should care about each other globally, and we should do what's right and end these wars. And what's the purpose of the UN? The UN's a joke. United Nations says more than 700 killed in just 5 days of fighting in the Democratic Republic of Congo. More than 700 people have been killed and 2,800 injured in just 5 days. The WHO and its partners conducted an assessment with the government between the 26th and yesterday in the report that 700 people have been killed. Okay, we cry for a plane crash, quote unquote, an act of God. But we don't have tears when we see children being blown up and kids starving to death and just violence and women being assaulted and then killed. Like, when do you pick to have sympathy? Is it based on color? Is it based on national? Like, what is it for me? It's like any human being. I don't care if they're brown, black, yellow, white, Christian, Jewish, atheist. Like, when do you as a human being say that all of this is wrong and you need to speak out against it, even if it's not you or your people, man, or people you even like? Arab nations reject Trump's call to relocate Gazans to neighboring countries. I don't think they should be relocated either. That's ethnic cleansing. And when I heard that audio of Trump, I was very offended for the Palestinians who have already been through so much. To hear that coming out of Trump's mouth is devastating. And I think they would never leave, because if you've already lost everything, you've lost family, buildings, you would stay there just because you have nothing else left morally. You would stay to the last bullet. You would stay to your exit. You want me out of here? That's the will of these people. No one's ever going to remove them by force unless they wipe them out. So, I don't know. Very sad situation over there. Major anti-corruption protests in Serbia add pressure to President Vučić. I hope this guy gets thrown out. This guy is a globalist, bro. Globalist. He's a Milosevic puppet. And the people of Serbia have had enough of these policies and bullshit. And I think the young people are tired. And I think people are ready to, move on in the world. This guy in Fortune magazine, the Black Swan author, warns future sell-offs could be 2 to 3 times worse than the DeepSeek shock, as it reveals how fragile the economy is. You can go and read that article. I found it to be an interesting read. An interesting read indeed. Chinese AI app DeepSeek was downloaded by millions. Deleting it might come next. This is the battle of AI, my friends. I am a cybertronic organism, microorganism. What was that in the Terminator? A microorganism. Chinese generative AI DeepSeek surpassed OpenAI ChatGPT as the #1 downloaded free app last week. I guess it's time to cancel my subscription to ChatGPT. I don't want to mess with communists, man. I just don't. Experts they were worried about TikTok. Maybe they should worry about this. While an effort to legally ban DeepSeek, similar to TikTok, could follow, government prohibitions were swiftly put into place, from NASA to the U.S. Navy and from the state of Texas to Taiwan. Cybersecurity firms already discovered vulnerabilities in the app that allowed for data leaks, and according to one national security expert, it isn't worth the paper it's written on. Plenty of Americans are discovering the AI search powers of DeepSeek, the breakthrough Chinese generative AI app that surged to #1 download status on Apple's App Store last week. Have you downloaded it? Drop me a comment and let me know. The sudden rise of DeepSeek created a rapid timeline on a budget reportedly much lower than previously thought possible. Elon Musk has been going ham on X. Here's this meme he put. Imagine taking a medical advice from a man who needs a pardon from the medical advice he gave. And you know who's in the picture. His name starts with an F and ends with an E. You know the way it sounds. Foul. And Albanians say chi. Then you got Patriot Storm, who all think that the NWO is about to be ushered in. I do. But you didn't. He was swinging off Trump's you-know-what. So, what else did I want to put here? Hang on, I have more. I have a little bit more for this episode. What is it? Look at this clown. I can't stand this guy. You want to see what the face of a liar looks like?
With 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Like the American tariffs, our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more. And as part of our response, we are considering, with the provinces and territories, several non-tariff measures, including some relating to critical minerals, energy, procurement, and other partnerships. We will stand strong for Canada. We will stand strong to ensure our countries continue to be the best neighbors in the world.
That's the voice of Commie Justin Trudeau, probably most likely Fidel Castro's bastard son, talking about his response to the Trump tariffs. Turmoil is coming, my friends. Turmoil is coming. This is a great picture. I don't know if it's real, but you got to love X, man. There's a lot of funny stuff on there, man, and serious stuff. Elon Musk posted, did you know that U.S. aid, using your tax dollars, funded weapon research, including C-19, they shut us down in 2019. That killed millions of people. Okay? Look at this. This is what he posts. You see? And I've been saying this for how many years you guys have been following me? How many years? And you lost family, and your child lost their life to that illness. You don't want justice for your dead family, man? Then you're a loser. You're a fucking loser. You know why you're a loser? Because you can't stand talking about the truth. You can't stand to admit the thought that your family lost their lives by the people that you trusted and supported and defended. And people like me who want you to have the truth, you can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
They can't handle the truth. They'd rather cower like an ostrich. They'd rather hide from reality because it's too painful to face. This is not a game, what's going on. I'm not up here for shits and giggles. I don't make a lot of money doing this. I get death threats. I don't know if you guys know that. I get death threats. I don't give a fuck. I made a long time ago, I made a decision. I'm going to speak my truth. And if it costs me my life, it costs me my life. I'm going to die anyway. But I'm going to die trying to do what's right. Speaking the truth and trying to bring people together. Because most of the time, people are not together because they don't have the right information. Or they've been programmed. So, that's where we're at. That's it. So, that's the episode, man. I'm sorry I took so long. I have a lot of fire coming your way. I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate the super chats because it helps me fuel and fund and keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I am going to be more on schedule, but I am traveling this week, so I don't know what's going to happen. But I'll keep you updated. Make sure you follow me on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm always putting content up. So thank you for staying with me. I'm bringing the heat. I'm bringing you interviews. I'm bringing you the news. I'm bringing you everything you want to do. And I really, really, really appreciate you. Thank you. You know what? We're going to close it out with the old music. Life sure is strange. You never know what could happen. You could be walking down the block and a jet just slams into you while you're buying a gallon of milk. You better stay strong in these crazy times. And remember, you're not going to live forever. So if you don't think there's a God, okay, cool. But how do you know unless you really look? Life is short, man. What's next? My name is Bek Lover. I cover interesting news and stories from around the world. I'm going to be releasing that episode with Mo Pacino tomorrow. And I thank you. And yes, I'll be on the air tomorrow and Tuesday I fly out, but I'll drop an episode before I fly out. And I'm going to try to put out an episode even out in Vegas. Maybe I'll just stream. There's a lot coming. We're upgrading equipment. I'm going to be out in the field. I'm going to be talking to people in the streets. I'm going to be everywhere for you, my friends. This is your boy.
Bek Lover.
truth. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I want the truth. You can't. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We got the soundboard back, baby. We're back in business, man. Who wants the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
May Allah awaken the people and help. Bullshit.